Hi everybody, so I'm here with my first monthly favourite video of 2025. So this is my December favourites and updates video. So not an awful lot of brand new products, but quite a few to show you. Some of them have made it to favourites actually, and there's also some products that are new to me which I picked up in the Black Friday sale, so I'm going to show you those. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah, I'm 47, not a professional, somebody who just absolutely loves makeup and beauty, and here on my channel I like to show you my favourite looks, review the latest products and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy that, please do hit the subscribe button, it's super helpful to my channel. If you're already subscribed, welcome back, I really do appreciate you being here. Right, so let's get straight into this video. So the first thing I want to show you, which I did get in December, but I've actually been getting this for years, I'm not sure how many years, but I thought I'd mention it because I love them and I just wanted to mention it in case you haven't heard of them. So this is the Burt's Bees hand cream. I've been buying these from Amazon on repeat for years and years. I do try some other hand creams sometimes, but I never ever enjoy them the same way I enjoy these. I always go back to them. These are my top 4 favourite scents. They are absolutely beautiful. They're extremely reasonable prices. My favourite out of all of them is this one here, which is rosemary and lemon, which I thought sounded quite strange, but honestly when I put this on I just wanted to just smell it for ages. I love it. It's one of my favourite parts of my evening routine. I make it my last part of my routine in the evening. I'm sat in bed putting all my last bits of skincare on and I put this one on. It is so beautiful and my hands are never dry. I use these all year round. They are gorgeous. My other favourite one is watermelon and mint. Again, a one that you'd maybe think would be quite a strange combination, but it is exceptional. And then another one which was my absolute number one, but maybe not number one anymore, and that one is the wild rose and berry. This one is absolutely beautiful, and lavender and honey. So I just wanted to show you those just very briefly. They're very pretty little tubes as well. So these are just from Amazon, very good value, and I absolutely adore them. And next I want to show you something which is actually quite new. This was sent to me by Remedy Skincare. This is called 4 Body Bumps. Remedy basically wrote to me and asked me to choose about 4 products to sample, which was really kind of them. And I've always had a couple of body bumps, you know, that sort of skin bumps you get on my arms, specifically on my arms here. I don't get it too badly, it doesn't particularly bother me, but it is less smooth than the rest of my body. So I thought this would be a really good one for me to try. So I've been trying this. Firstly, it absorbs very quickly. It's not one of these creams that you need to wait hours for it to dry and it's uncomfortable. I can put it on in the morning and get dressed within a few minutes. That's how good it is. But I've noticed a considerable difference because the bumps almost disappear. It has a sort of gentle exfoliation property to it, as far as I understand it. You can use this in the morning and the evening if you want to double up your the speed of work, if you like, but for me just once a day is absolutely fine. But yeah, I found this to be really good. It's fragrance free and it's just excellent. The actual name of the bumps, which I'm just calling them bumps, is keratosis pilaris, if you've heard of that. This helps with that. It also helps with skin texture, redness and discoloration. So this is, as I said, fragrance free, tested for sensitive skin, vegan and cruelty free and derm developed. And the hero ingredients in this is encapsulated retinol, 0.1%, 10% urea, I don't know what that is actually, so maybe you do, 5% lactic acid and ceramides, but basically it's very effective and I really like it. So everything I'm showing you today is linked below if you wanted to try them, but this really is fabulous. So during the Black Friday sales, I didn't really pick up any makeup other than makeup that I always repurchase. So just if I was just stocking up on favourites. So I wasn't actually buying any new makeup. But what I did do was pick up some skincare I've wanted to try because there was some very good value options around for Black Friday. And one of the brands I've really started to enjoy in the last year is Caudalie. And I wanted to branch out and try a bit more from them. And this duo has become one of my absolute #1 cleansing duos. So this one here is the cleansing oil, makeup removing cleansing oil. This is the Vinoclean range. I believe they're both from the Vinoclean range. So they both have a really strong smell of almonds. You do need to like that, but I find that a massive part of why I love this. I love the way it smells of almond. I find it absolutely beautiful. It's not an overpowering smell, but it's a lovely, comforting, beautiful smell. I really like it. And this cleansing oil, I can rub it directly straight into my eyeballs without feeling a single thing. Not that I'm cleaning my eyeballs, but if I get it in my eyeballs, it's not a problem. It works so well. This will get rid of the most stubborn mascara in an absolute flash and leave my skin feeling so soft. So this contains organic grapeseed oil, sweet almond oil and castor oil, described as a gentle, effective cleanser which visibly purifies all skin types without stripping away moisture, with a milky oil texture to ensure a quick and kind to skin cleanse, leaving your complexion feeling refreshed and replenished with moisture. That's the description of it anyway, but I can absolutely verify that's exactly what it does and I love it. So after removing all my makeup with that, I always double cleanse. So I've been loving the combination of going straight in with this one. So this is called the Cleansing Almond Milk. This says it's got corn flour and polyphenols for all skin types, used in your face and your eyes. And again, this one can go directly into my eyes without causing me any problems. It has that beautiful almond smell and it's so creamy and so soft, and my skin feels like a baby's skin afterwards. Honestly, this combination is fabulous. So the description says, formulated with a dreamy velvet texture, gently lifts away makeup. So you could use this instead of the oil cleanser, I suppose, but I would prefer to go in with this after. This leaves your skin feeling supple and purified. Emerging from the Vinoclean line, this cleanser is an eco-friendly solution to keep your complexion looking its best. Boasting a largely natural composition, this vegan-friendly milk is ideal for even more sensitive skin types. Blended with sweet almond oil, the milk nourishes and conditions the surface of your skin for even more radiance, with cornflower water ensuring lasting comfort as it soothes and calms. Thanks to the polyphenols, the cleansing milk is rich in protective antioxidants that help to shield against harmful environmental aggressors. This locks in hydration with jojoba oil and shea butter, ensuring a moisturised surface that's soft and conditioned without leaving behind any oily residues. It does say that the castor oil in this specifically targets the eyelashes, leaving them with a fortified appearance, and the finish of sweet almond scent, which is actually left on the skin, but I do apply a lot of skincare afterwards, so I can't really say that I notice the scent afterwards. But also you can use it as a makeup remover, completely recyclable packaging as well. So yeah, this duo from Caudalie, fabulous. I've got quite a big collection of Caudalie now that I'm really enjoying, and these have now been added to that, so I love those. And also with skincare, I picked up these from Glow Recipe. I've seen so many good reviews on these. These came out quite recently, so they are actually quite new. This is the Glow Recipe Cloudberry Bright collection. So this one is the Essence Toner, and this one is called the Moisture Cream. So I've actually been using this as my last step before makeup and using it as my primer. I do like to use a moisturiser as a primer, and as many of you will know, I use the Bobbi Brown face base as my primer most of the time. This is like a thinner version of that. It is thinner, but it sits beautifully under my makeup. But when I have both of these on, I really do notice that I get a fabulous glow. So this toner, I'll show you the texture of it because it might not be quite what you expect from a toner. It's very clear, but it's not completely water. You can see it's running down my hand, but it's not quite as watery. It's got a slight sort of gel, light, very, very light gel texture. So this absorbs extremely easily, but what I've really noticed with this is that it dries down very quickly, and when it does, all of my creams seem to really absorb much better. I'm left with sort of less wet skin. They really seem to go straight into the skin, and that's something I've really noticed. Now, this is also packed full of vitamin C, which is something I always use, even though I must admit I still do go in with my vitamin C after using this, so I really double up on the vitamin C, but this has got the vitamin C already in it, and something called CoQ10. Sorry, my knowledge with skincare is not very good, but that's in it as well, which is apparently a powerhouse ingredient. It also has an extremely mild fragrance, which is pleasant, but I don't really pick up on it very much, if I'm honest. A very, very mild fragrance, but it is pleasant. So that's my first step at the moment in skincare. So I then moved on to my vitamin C, my under eye cream. What else do I do next? My SPF. Then I'm ready to go in with my moisturiser. I think, have I missed anything? I'm looking at my skincare here in front of me. I don't think so. So anyway, the next one I add then is the Cloudberry cream. So this one is the Bright Moisture Cream. And like I said, this one is lighter than the Bobbi Brown one that I love so much. This is definitely soft and smooth and airy, which is how it's described. And this one just sits beautifully on my skin. So you can see it's not very thick at all, but it feels so soft and beautiful. This also has vitamin C and antioxidants, and together these really do brighten up your face, really give it a healthy illuminated glow. And I don't know if my hand will demonstrate that glow very much for you now. I'll have to use these two together in a video at some point so you can see it when I'm doing a sort of full face of things, but these are absolutely beautiful. So this is saying the ingredients in this will fight off stresses and UV rays. And to take it up a notch, there's a peptide lipid complex in this. So this has fatty acids to lock in your moisture, as well as peptides to smooth your texture and emulate the look of collagen-rich skin. But this is an absolute beautiful duo. So I've only recently started using it, sort of in the last fortnight, I'd say. And I haven't had one problem with my makeup. It gives me a gorgeous glow. It's particularly good if you're going for, say, a matte. I do have a matte foundation on today, actually, so you can see how my skin is looking. This is giving me that glow from within, and it's locking in the hydration. Even in the winter with the heating on and the really cold weather blasting in my face, I am getting zero dry skin with my current routine, and I love these. And I'm picking up a lot more on the smell actually with this one. This one is definitely got a definitely stronger fragrance than this. Just very slight, almost citrusy scent, I'd say, but very pleasant. So yeah, I really love these, and I also love the packaging, especially this one. I love the bottle. So now straight on to makeup, and I'm wearing the things that I love the most that I tried in December, and one of those is something that hasn't actually launched yet. It's a bit of a mystery as to how I even got it, but this is the new shade in the contour wand from Charlotte Tilbury. So this launched on Harrods for one day and then disappeared again, and I haven't seen it anywhere since. So I think it was an accidental early release by that site. So as soon as it becomes available, I will let you know. But Charlotte Tilbury has launched, or is launching, 5 new shades in this, starting with Fair. So I think it's Fair, Light, Medium, Deep, deep, dark deep, is it? I can't remember, but basically they're 5 shades taking you through all the skin tones, so you can be a lot more specific. And I did do a demonstration of this on my channel here, so you can see me trying this on alongside the original lightest one, which was the light to medium or fair to medium. So this one is a lot lighter than the light to medium, and it's actually my absolute perfect contour shade. So I can tell you now, oops, I didn't close it, so I just opened it and managed to drip it everywhere. That's why I've got so much on my hand. What a waste. Anyway, so note to self, don't ever not close it again. I did use it today, you see, I must have been rushing. But anyway, seeing I've got so much on my hand, I might as well blend it out to give you more of an idea of the shade here. Enough to do a week's worth of contour there. But anyway, this is my perfect cool toned fair shade. So absolutely love it. It's become my most used since I got it. It's certainly my favourite alongside the Dior contour, and I think it's possibly, no, actually the Dior shade is slightly better in cool tone match, but on the skin I think they look the same, so I do think it's fantastic. So if you're looking for a contour wand that's a bit lighter, this is going to be perfect for you in Fair. But obviously you might have the contour wand and find it a bit too deep and things, so you're able to now really select your correct colour. So when they launch, I highly recommend them. So the next product is not new at all, but it's new to me, and I've seen this recommended a number of times by one of my absolute favourite beauty YouTubers, who is Alana Davison. So look her up if you haven't watched her. She is so good. But we've got quite a similar skin tone, similar colourings, and she raves about this, and I've heard her mention it too many times to think I have to just give this a try. So this is from NUDESTIX. This is the NUDESTIX All Over Face Colour Matte, and the colour That's the brush end, which I'm showing you first. The colour is Bareback. Now the brush, as you can probably tell, I never use. It's not something I would choose to use. It's not the best sort of brush, but maybe for on-the-go touch-ups it could be useful. But here is the shade, and this is what I've got on my cheeks today. So it's the only blush I've got on, and I genuinely think it is my most perfect natural blush. Now Alana, I know she loves this so much, she even wore it on her wedding day. It is just beautiful. So it's a twist up blush, and here is the shade, and this has to be my most perfect everyday shade of pink. So if we're a skin twin, I think you'd love this. It blends on absolutely effortlessly, really beautifully. It's got that, it does have a matte finish, but it's not heavily matte. I do feel, even though I've got my nice glowy base and I've got a bit of highlighter on to bring the glow back, but it's not that sort of really heavy matte. It's just a very natural finish, I find, and I think it is absolutely perfect for my skin tone and super easy to work with. So I love this one. So something I literally reviewed in my last video here on my channel, but I have used over the last month privately, but I have actually done a shorts video on them, and that's the KJH cream blush, which you can use on your cheeks and on your lips. These are beautiful. Now I have demonstrated how you can add the serum that KJH launched, so you can turn it into a glowy finish. But if you just use it as it is, it's a matte, it's a cream to powder with a matte finish. Now it's not, it's a very dry cream. See, when I touch it, hardly anything comes off, and that's because it's so dry. So it's not very creamy. So if you're someone who's worried about creams, this could be a really good option for you. This is how it looks. Sorry, that really doesn't swatch nicely there, does it? Let me swatch it again. Ignore that middle swatch. There, this is how it swatches. Now this goes on for me as well as the Chanel cream to powder. It's a beautiful formula. It's not that sort of wet finish at all. So it is cream, but it's extremely it feels like velvet, and it almost dries instantly. There is no tacky finish to this. This lasts all day. This has great longevity. It also has great longevity on the lips. And also, obviously, you can have that cohesive look between lip and cheek. Sorry, I can't get any of my words out today. Please excuse me. And I've got 3 shades. I've only actually got 2 with me now because I've put the peach one away to use in the summer. But the one you saw then is I think it's the berry, and this one is the raisin. So that's berry and raisin there. Ignore this mess here in the middle. But the one I tried in my review yesterday was the raisin. I love the berry though, and it's perfect for winter. So both of these are sitting here on my desk. I think there are actually 5 shades, but I highly recommend them. I think they are fantastic, and they're a cheaper alternative to the Chanel, and I think they're as good, I really do. So on to some more cheek products. I tried these in December from Whatsup Beauty, a little bit late to the game in trying these, but wow, am I glad I did. Let me tell you that since I've tried this bronzer, I haven't used another bronzer. This is what I've used every single day. I genuinely think I have found my most perfect bronzer. Now, if you follow me, you know that I love the Lancome and the YSL, and they've become my favourites, certainly my favourites from last year. But this, I genuinely think this is perfection for me. Absolute perfection. This is the most perfect skin tone match for my skin tone. It's perfectly cool. It's not warm at all. It's buildable. I do need to add quite a bit to build up colour, but then I'm very fair and it's perfect. And when I say build up quite a bit, I mean I go in very gradually anyway. I tap a little bit on the brush. So this is what I'm wearing today. So you can see this is the colour I've got in my forehead. It just gives me a very natural bronze. And because of the sort of mixture of colours in here, it almost gives a little bit of a glow, I think. So even though it's a matte finish, again, very natural sort of finish. And this is beautiful. I absolutely adore it. It's been on my desk, sat here ever since the day I first reviewed it, and I've used it every single day. And my Lancome and my YSL are still sitting there, but they haven't been touched. So they're very sad about that, but that's life. Get on with it. Anyway, the other one, which I have loved equally as much, I have to be honest, but because I've tested so many blushes, I haven't been able to use it as much. And again, this is a very much everyday perfect shade for me. And this is the blush. I didn't actually give you the shade name of this bronzer, did I? It's the lightest one, 10 Light. So that's the, it's not Cheeque Terre, it's the Cheeque or something like that is how you pronounce it. Cheeque, something like that, Terre. But anyway, it's in the shade 10 Light, the bronzer. And this blush is, again, the Cheeque Terre, and this is in 10 Peaceful Pisa. And this gives me a very light wash of a very, very natural pink. Again, so natural. It is the perfect sort of base. So I would still use both of these and then maybe go in with the NUDESTIX. Where have I put you? The NUDESTIX blush that I showed you, or a different blush, because this is almost like a good base one to use if you want to build colour after. But if you're looking for an everyday one that just suits your skin tone, if you've got my skin tone, this colour is perfection. I love the two together, and I also don't use highlight much when I use them because I do feel this pop of blue gives me a little bit of a glow. I thought they were stunning. So if you see my review of those, you'll see what I mean. But both of them are sitting on my desk and both of them are being used very regularly. Love them. And I would like to try maybe the next colours up now because I like them so much. But I do believe for my skin tone, those are my absolute perfect matches. So now on to eyeshadows I've tested. So this was one of the late ones I tried from the Christmas releases, and this one was from Colourpop. I had a huge amount of fun with this one and I thought the formulas were fabulous. So just have a close-up look here of these. This is a perfect sort of wintry palette. Lots of lovely icy colours in here. The mattes all work beautifully. We've got inner corner transition shades, we've got liner shades, we've got really wow colour shimmers, and then we've got more sort of subtle shimmers. So you have got so many different types of looks here. I love the fact that it's got a true white as well, because a true white is just so good for that inner corner under the brow. But these formulas, I mean, if I just very quickly swatch a couple of these shimmers, they are so beautiful. I could have used this one for a very long time if I wasn't constantly reviewing makeup, because it is absolutely gorgeous. So this one here on the end is more of a glitter finish, and these two are more of a sort of fine shimmer. But look at those, and they're even duochrome. They've got everything, considering the price for Colourpop, which is so reasonable. It's one of the only brands outside of luxury that I buy when it comes to eyeshadows. In fact, I'm wearing a Colourpop today, a different one, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, absolutely love this. So this was the Frosty the Snowman collection. I picked up a number of things. I loved everything I got from the collection actually. I got lipsticks, liners, all sorts, but this was the standout for me and I love it. And I also tested this one from Bobbi Brown, the Pac-Man, which has these fabulous Pac-Man moving around inside the inside the packaging there, which I thought was so cool. The colour story on this I was drawn to because I just love the sort of blues and browns together, particularly these two. I love these shades. Not a massive fan of the warmer side, but it is quite good in the sense that you've got a sort of cool tone section and a warm tone section. So for me, this gold was a bit too much. I'm not sure if I'd ever use the gold, but I did really like mixing these two together, and the finish of these shimmers was beautiful, and I thought it had everything in it. It's got your inner corner, your liner, your transition, because you can use one of these quite lightly. You can go very lightly on the blue and then you can deepen up with this. You can do a number of things really. So I do think it's a bit expensive for what it is, and it's certainly not one of my favourites, and it's not the one I'm wearing today, which the Colourpop wasn't either. But it's a good one, but I wouldn't say it's been the best I've tried. Not the best from Bobbi Brown, and certainly not the best I've tried recently, but it was a nice experience. I enjoyed it. Will I go back to using it? I don't know, in all honesty. But something from that collection, which I've certainly gone back to use several times since, was the highlighter, which I thought was absolutely gorgeous. This is the Afternoon Glow, it's called. If I can open it. So we've got the Pac-Man featured on the front there without any sort of movement this time. Nice mirror, but here we have Pac-Man embossed very heavily there, so it will last, and this is absolutely beautiful. This is almost the same sort of shade as the gorgeous rose gold that came from Hermes. This has got a slightly more rose sort of tone to it, and it's a bit more of a beamy highlight, but it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I think deeper skin tones would particularly love this, but it did work on my skin tone, and it's beautiful on the eyes. A real silky soft finish. So that was the standout from the Pac-Man collection. I really did enjoy that one very much. And I also got this from the Pac-Man collection. This is the Extra Plump Lip Serum, and I got this in Bare Plum. This is a nice serum. It's not the best one I've ever tried, a lip serum. It's quite a thick, slightly tinted. It's not very dark, even though it's plum, but it is nice. It is a nice one. So it's certainly one I'm keeping in my lip gloss topper drawer, and I am using it, but it's not a favourite, and I wouldn't say I have to have it, but it was very nice. I like the packaging again. I thought the Pac-Man theme was just good fun generally. I like this colour. I think it's beautiful for this time of year. Used on its own, it's quite nice, and also as a topper. So I do like it, and it's going here in my drawer so I can continue to use it. And the other thing I've tried from Bobbi Brown, which came after the Pac-Man release, was the New Year eyeshadow palette. This one is called the Lunar Light Eyeshadow Quad. It's got the lanterns on the front representing the Lunar New Year. And I think the colour story on this is beautiful. But I was disappointed with the formula on this one. It's not their beautiful Italian formula. And the shimmers on this were just okay. They weren't stand out. They're certainly not like the luxe shimmers that Bobbi Brown often makes, the ones that are made in Italy, which I love. And it's also just cardboard. The mirror doesn't stand up. It's very basic packaging, a bit overpriced for what it is. I thought that this shade here was stunning. This was the standout, probably this matte, if I just quickly show you. But otherwise, it was just okay. If I show you the two shimmers with that matte, I've still got that lip serum on my hand, but there they are. You can see there. It's nice, but that's about it. So not massively impressed with that one. So on to my standout eyeshadow of the month, and that's the one I'm wearing. If anyone can guess, it is the Victoria Beckham Emerald Lid Lustre. I'm a massive fan of Victoria Beckham lid lustres. I tend to buy nearly all of them, and if you know me, you know I am completely obsessed with greens. And look at this. So when I first did a review of this, you'll find a video here on my channel. I did do a stronger look than the one you're seeing today, because you can really make this very strong on the eyes if you want to. So I made it more coming above the crease, a really bold green look. The one I've got today is a more soft look, which I'll explain now, but this is how it swatches. So you can see how you can get a really bold look. But what I've actually done today is I've dipped into one of my old Colourpop palettes. You know, I said I'd mention a Colourpop palette. This is Sage the Day. So I just buy the odd palette from Colourpop, but obviously this is a green palette, so I was always going to buy this one when it was released. So what I did today is I started with this very light matte green here, and I've got that as my transition and my base. And that's one of the reasons it's bringing this emerald down, because that's my base. And then I deepened up by mixing these two colours together to give me a bit of depth there. And then I lined with this one here. So that's all I've done, and I copied the same colours above and below. And then I went in more gently with the emerald from Victoria Beckham, and I've got that over the mobile lid and just a tiny bit above. So this is how it looks when it's slightly more muted. So that gives you an idea of a different way of wearing it, because like I said in my video, you'll see me using, I've done a shorts video of this and I've done a full review of this. So you can see me wearing it with more of a high impact finish. So that is with nothing underneath, no colour underneath muting it, and more just a dark liner and a little bit of brown here. So I didn't have that light green on the outside, which I think gives it more of an everyday look. So that's just giving you an idea of another way to wear it. But I think that this shade is exceptional, and another winner in the Lid Lustre collection, and my current favourite, absolute favourite. I love it. And now onto two highlighters, which only came out in a review video yesterday on my channel, but I'm going to add them in now, even though I have literally just started them. But I'm happy to say instantly they're favourites. And these are the Hindash Gradient highlighters, and the standout was this LUNAR. So I've got LUNAR on my cheeks today. I've got it down my nose and a little bit on the Cupid's bow. I think I have found the most perfect highlighter. This has got a hint of lilac in it. You can't really see the lilac, but something about that lilac being added to this makes it the perfect shade for me, because this looks absolutely stunning. So here it is. Now what I did yesterday, I was doing an all matte look, and I added this for the topper over the matte, and it was literally the most perfect topper I think I've ever found from a highlighter. I think it's the best highlighter I've ever put on my eyes, without exaggeration. It is absolutely sensational. I loved it. So if you'd like to see me doing that, look at my last review where I do the Natasha Denona mini palette, the Eye Sculpt, and I finish off at the very end of that video by showing you these two highlighters and putting this one on top. So when I say two, the other one I picked up was called Dull Dynasty, I believe. Yeah, this one here, which has the pinky shifts to it. Look at that, isn't it gorgeous? And I did say in that video I thought this one would probably be more perfect for me in summer, maybe with a sort of pinky or coral type of look. But here that one is. But you can see that both of them will really suit my skin tone. I think this one will also suit deeper skin tones, so probably light to medium, and you can go up a shade as well. That one I didn't get, but there is a darker shade, so this collection from Hindash suits all skin tones, I think. I'm fairly confident in saying that because the third one is quite deep. It's like a bronzy highlight. So I think they are stunning. The packaging is lovely. We've got a nice size mirror, but look at them. And the formula, it's a really fine highlighter. No, not chunky at all. No chunks of glitter. You don't see glitter on the face. It's a very smooth, fine shimmer, and it is perfect. It really is. So LUNAR is going to be sitting on my desk, and I don't know, it really would be a challenge for this to be removed from my desk all year. That's how confident I am, and I'm talking on the 3rd of January here. I think there's a really good shout for this to still be sat on my desk when I do my December reviews, because that is how absolutely gorgeous it is. So when it comes to lipsticks, I tried both of the new ones from Charlotte Tilbury. I also got these two early. I got those with the contour wand launching accidentally on the Harrods site. So I was able to test these before they launched, and I think these are gorgeous. I love the packaging, but I was quite surprised to see quite a lot of people saying when I did my video, they hate the packaging. They think it's tacky. I don't. I think it's gorgeous. If you find it tacky, that's absolutely up to you. We're completely entitled to have all our own views, aren't we? But for me, I think this is beautiful. It's a refillable case, so you can keep this and add to it in the future or swap out and change. So this one here, if I check which one I've got in my hand, this is Kiss of Fortune, and this one is the Matte Revolution formula. This one was a little bit too orange for me. Now I have actually seen someone else try this on, and it looks like quite a nice red, but look how orange this one looks. So I don't know what's going on there, whether I've got the wrong one. Is that why they were launched and then taken away again? Because I've seen other people try this on since online, and they really look red, but look how orange that looks. There's no question that's an orange. But it's still nice. I do like it, but I don't think it works for me quite as well being orange. But the one that I absolutely loved was this one, and this one is the Kissing formula, my favourite formula from Charlotte, and this is in the shade Kiss of Mystery. This one is perfect. I love this one, and it's beautiful for this time of year as well. So here we have it. I think this would work well for all year round actually, this sort of shade, but I love it for this time of year. Very comfortable formula and a beautiful shade. So very happy with those, but I haven't put it as my favourite. But this would be a close second because I only tested 2 lots of lipsticks in December that were new. So the only other one that I got that was new was this one, which is from Westman Atelier. I think the packaging first of all is beautiful. I know it looked really simple, and I think you have to actually hold it and see it in real life to understand, but it's very, very sort of sleek and solid, and the magnet on it is just extremely strong. I really, really like it. I think it's very simple but very elegant and beautiful. I really like this one. And this new shade was launched in December, and this shade is called Elodie, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's not the one on my lips. I will explain why in a minute, but this is my favourite shade, and from Westman Atelier. Look at it, it's beautiful. And when I tried it on, it is one of the creamiest mattes I've ever worn. It's such a beautiful formula. It is so smooth and creamy. I really, really like it. And obviously you can build this up as well. So that's showing you how it looks if you blend it out. But here you can see you can really build this up into quite a rich colour if you wanted to. It is gorgeous. And the reason it's not on my lips is because when I did my review of this lipstick, I did show everyone that I picked up another shade, which isn't a new shade, but new to me. And a lot of you asked if I could show you how it looks on my lips. So that's what I'm wearing today. So the shade I picked up, which everyone was interested in, is called Je Rêve, or yeah, R-E-V-E, but there's an accent over the E. So is that Rêve? Rêve? Anyway, that's what it's called. Here it is in the actual case. We have this lovely embossing again. They both have this lovely heart embossing. It seems to be part of the line. So that's what I've got on my lips today. And I'll just show you how that looks on the back of my hand. It's not massively different really, but there is a bit more of a sort of cool tone to this one. It's not quite as much of a bright pink. So that's what I'm wearing. I've had this on now for over an hour if you want an idea. I do feel like I need to start to add some sort of lip balm, but I have exceptionally dry lips, so that's quite normal for me. But it's been very comfortable for me in the last hour. I certainly didn't need to do anything instantly, which I usually do with a matte. So very comfortable, beautiful packaging. Love both of these shades. And the other lip product I tried this month was from Ole Henriksen, which I absolutely love. And these are shimmer versions, glitter versions. So these are actually called the Party of 3 Glimmers because I picked up the full set of all 3. This is my absolute favourite lip peptide treatment. I love to wear lip balms during the day. As I said, I can't live without them. I wouldn't use these at night. I like to wear a full lip mask, but the best, thickest, most grippy, most hydrating formula on the market, in my opinion, is this one. So when they launched a glitter version, I had to get this. Now when I say glitter, it's more shimmer, it's fine shimmer. There is no glitter in these, as in there's no graininess, you are not aware of it, you cannot feel it. It's not a massively glittery formula, if I'm going to be honest. It's just a fine shimmer. So I'm showing you this one, which has the least amount of shimmer in it. In fact, you can hardly see it's got shimmer in. So this one is the shade Citrus Sunshine. So this one I've actually kept next to me during the day when I'm working, and I just top up with this regularly. You can apply it without looking because you can barely see the colour, and it'll sit on top of just about any makeup, any lipstick colour. So it's very good from that point of view. But I don't think it's particularly better than the other ones, if you know what I mean. You don't really see the shimmer. But the next two you do. So these are my favourite ones. This is Creme Brulee. Now they also have the beautiful scents to go with the names. So that one had the citrus smell, and this one has a strong vanilla-y creme brulee cakey smell. Now this one doesn't look massively glittery when I show you it on my hands, but this one has a lovely topping shimmer. It really does. You do see the shimmer on that one. Again, you can't really see it on the back of my hand, but I'll tell you what, I will put it onto my lips now because they are starting to feel a bit dry. And you should see quite a good shimmer. My lips instantly feel amazing, but that definitely is giving shimmer. You can see it in the light there. It's picking up on a very subtle, but definitely there sort of shimmer, which I love. So if you're someone who likes a little bit of shimmer and you like a really grippy, hydrating formula to put on your lips during the day, this is beautiful. But this one is probably the best in terms of impact when it comes to the colour, and I can't read what it says, Lingonberry, when it comes to the shimmer and the colour. So I'll show you this one on my hand. So this one you can really see the shimmer more and you can see the colour. Hard to appreciate on my hand, it really is, but when I have tested these, you will be able to find me reviewing all 3 of these, and this one definitely had the biggest impact in terms of shimmer. So do I regret buying them? Not in the slightest, but if you were going to go back looking for shimmer, I probably wouldn't think this is particularly any different, even though I don't think there's a price difference if you get it individually, if you get this one in the non-shimmer version, so why not get the shimmer? But anyway, I'll be keeping these on my desk. These 2 I'll be keeping here for topping, this one for on its own, I think, and this one for topping like I've just done now, and this one will be living with me next to me when I'm working during the day, and I'll be using it all the time. And the last thing I'm showing you now with makeup I tried this month, again this is not new, but it's new to me, new this last year, but not new in December. This is the Makeup Forever setting powder, the HD skin setting powder, and I've got this in the shade 0.1 Corrective Rose. So if you follow my channel, you know that I was very upset about the Givenchy formula changing and how much I thought that was my perfect setting powder in the shade 03 or 01, 03 being my favourite. So when I'm trying new ones, I do try and get the ones if they have rose in. So this one is the lightest, I think it's the lightest, 0.1, I think it is, unless it's a 0.0. But anyway, Corrective Rose was the one I got. And let me tell you, I've pretty much used this on a daily since I first tried it, and I think it is exceptional. So there's a little bit here in the bottom of the case because I put too much in this morning. So it doesn't look very rosy, in a sort of similar way, I suppose, to the Mario, but it's less yellow than the Mario. Now the Mario, I've got it here, has become my favourite loose setting powder since I started my quest to replace Givenchy. So if I show you how the Mario looks, I won't show you on my hand because it's impossible to really see it, but this one here, this one is the Makeup Forever, and this finger here is the Mario. So if I put the two together, they are very similar, and I'm not entirely sure, now I'm looking at them together, why do I think that this one is a slightly better shade, but on my skin I feel like the Makeup by Mario one does look a little bit too yellow under the eyes, so I haven't been using it for under the eyes, whereas this one I can use under the eyes. Still not as good as Givenchy though for under the eyes, because the thing with Givenchy is it had that brightening quality, so I could use it all over my face and it was perfect, but it's also perfect under the eyes. Now both of these work brilliantly under the eyes, as in they don't crease and they sit beautifully and they really set your concealer, but it's just that perfect shade I was looking for. So there's something slightly better about this one under the eyes. It works as well as Mario, but I actually find it less heavy than Mario. The Mario one does have more of a sort of, the way it sits is a bit heavier. This one is a bit more lightweight, and I find that I very quickly set my makeup as well. Even though the Mario one is heavier, I tend to use more of it because I still feel like my product underneath is a little bit, it hasn't completely set down from being tacky or sticky, and I need to use more of the Mario to get rid of that. Whereas this one I seem to be using less and getting a nice smooth surface and getting the blurring. So I'm actually preferring this one. It's a fine line between them. My setting powder of the year last year was Mario, so this one is so close, but at the moment if I had to choose one it would actually be this one. So that's how good that is. So that's been a really good discovery for me. There's quite a lot of shades to choose from as well. It's in such a mess. I'm showing you this. I tipped way too much out when I was doing it this morning. I don't know what I was doing, so excuse the mess. So it comes with this puff. Look at the state of it. But anyway, you can see I'm using it a lot. But I do clean my puffs, honestly. I must have left a lot in the lid and closed it, and I'm left with this dreadful mess. So ignore the mess, which is all my fault, not the fault of the product. But I think it's fabulous and definitely recommend giving that one a try if you haven't already. And now onto makeup brushes. There's been a number of collections I've tested in December and really loved actually. It's been a fabulous month for makeup brushes, and probably the standout for me was the Wayne Goss collection. So this was the holiday release from Wayne Goss. Now I was a little bit curious with them being this short, would they be good? I think a lot of people were. And they're very different shapes to the ones I do use, but I do know that I do like a foundation brush with this sort of head on it for sort of really buffing out. But anyway, the standout for me, these two are the powder brushes. So these are good. This one is certainly very good for doing my bronzer and my blush, and this one for highlighter. That's the way I'd use them, and you can pretty much do your full face with this set. I have used these again and I do still reach for them, but I have to say I prefer a bigger bronzer brush, so I don't reach for it quite as much. And I am very spoilt with my favourite blush brush from Rephr, so I do tend to use that every day for blush. But occasionally I use the Wayne Goss one, but not quite so much. This one for highlighter, it is actually perfect. I sort of flip between this and the fan brushes, so it is very good for that. But the standouts for me were these two, and these ones are for liquid cream products. So these are all synthetic as well, by the way. This one, I think, blends out foundations and skin tints quicker than anything I've ever tried, and it also does it seamlessly. So if, for instance, and this is a really good example for me, if you've got your foundation on and then you end up getting a little bit of it peeling and starting to cake maybe, and you think, oh, am I gonna have to take it off? Am I gonna have to reapply? That is where this brush comes into its own, because as I'm reaching that point where I think it's about to go wrong, I get this brush and just start buffing into all those areas, and it just fixes it. It is the most perfect brush for that. I don't think I've ever had a brush that good. But on the whole, what it's so good for is just such a quick, even application. It just puts your foundation on in a flash. It really is perfect. And then it's really good for going in afterwards and doing sort of cleanups, which obviously you use all foundation brushes for. I love this one. The short handle is not an issue at all. And somebody did mention that when you're using a magnification mirror and you need to be up really close, it's really handy having such a short handle. I do have arthritis in my hands, so I did worry about whether this would be a bit difficult from a gripping point of view. I find it absolutely fine. And I've probably used this the most for foundation out of all the brushes I'm showing you. Well, I know I've used it the most since I got it. I love it. And then this one is the smaller one, which you use for bronzers, contours, cream blush. I love it for that, I really do. And again, I've probably used this as much as my other favourites. Not more, as much. I absolutely love this as well. So the two of them combined, I'm using constantly and I love them. And it's really made me think I need to try more from Wayne Goss. So let's get now to the BK Beauty, which is probably the one I tried most recently. So this was the brand new set that launched from BK Beauty. This is their Core Complexion Trio. So if I just start by showing you this one, this is the new concealer brush. So the concealer brush I was using before from BK Beauty was the Angie Hot and Flashy A506. So this is very, very different if you look at the two together. This brush is actually similar to the Nikki LaRose foundation brush, which is number N17. So it's got the powder bristle side, like N17, and then the cream bristle side. So you can see the difference in size there. So this has got this tip on it. So this fine tip will let you apply your concealer using the cream side, and you can get into this area and basically tap in your concealer, and then you can pop it into your powder, turn it and apply your powder. And you can obviously apply concealer to other areas. So I have to say, I don't like this as much as the original from the A506, and I don't like it as much as the Rephr that I use. I do prefer a brush that's a little bit smaller and a little bit more dense as well. This is quite a soft brush. I don't feel this area here where I have the most lines, I don't feel that I can really get into there and push the product in quite the same way as I can with my favourite Rephr brush, for instance, which is my actual favourite concealer brush. This one, push there and the product is in, I can really feel it. Whereas this one, I push in and they just sort of spread out. They're not really, I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but it just fits in perfectly and really pushes it in. And this one can't quite do that. And I have found that when I use this, I still reach for the Rephr. I will carry on using it. Maybe it's just technique and I need to try it out more. And I am doing that. But so far, I would say it's not a favourite. But I do like the fact I can flip it and go into the powder, even though I do find I'm sort of checking if I got the right side, which could be a problem. I haven't made that mistake yet, but I am very conscious of it. But certainly for putting the powder in, it's very good. But my favourite brush for doing that is another BK Beauty brush, which is the N14. And this is from the Nikki LaRose collection. And I have to say, I much prefer this for tapping powder in underneath the eyes. So it hasn't taken over from that. I'll try and use it a bit more, but I've got a feeling it's going to go into my maybe use another time section, not on my desk. But two of the brushes that did come in this set, which I am using a lot and I really enjoy, is this one, which is the 115. So this is basically the baby sister to the 101. This is the 101, which was, up until recently, my absolute favourite brush. I use this pretty much exclusively for foundation. So you can see the difference here in size. And one of the reasons I stopped using the 101 is because Rephr came out with their brush and it took over. So the Rephr brush, if I show you the Rephr one alongside the 115, they're quite similar sizes, and I think now, I didn't really know why I preferred the Rephr, but I think I do get that now, and it's to do with the size. I think it's just the 101 is a little bit more clumsy maybe, so you can't get into areas quite as nicely as you can with a slightly smaller brush, which is why the 115 is much more perfect, and I've absolutely loved it since I got this. So this is a really good shape. If you're somebody who likes to get their foundation under their eyes and everywhere else, you can use this brush to get it absolutely everywhere. This is, I love just patting in with this brush, but obviously you can buff in as well. This is beautiful, and I'd say it is basically as good as the Rephr. I can switch between the two. I can't choose between them. I'm showing you the new Rephr, which I haven't actually got to yet, but if we look back at the original Rephr, we had the BO2, which was the very, was it the very first? I think it was the very first they tested in the cream formula. And that one a lot of people didn't like, but I love it for skin tints. And then they came out with the BO4, and basically their new one is the same as that, but I'll go into that in a minute. But I've been using the BO4 the most this year. Obviously that was before I got the Wayne Goss, but the BO4 now and the BK Beauty 115 are my top two foundation brushes prior to the Wayne Goss arriving. So these are pretty much joint my three top, and I'm alternating between the three of them. And the last one in the collection from BK Beauty is the 116. So this one is the baby sister to the 106. So here's the 106. So here's the smaller one. So you can see it's exactly the same shaped brush. It's just a little bit more dense and a bit smaller. So the 106 is another one that's good for foundation in a similar way again to the way the Wayne Goss brush works, because it's got more of a sort of, it's a round shape and it's got that dense finish. And I haven't used it that much for foundation, to be honest. I do prefer the angled shape usually, apart from that with that Wayne Goss. There's something special about that one. But this one, the 116, for me is ideal for blush, for cream blush. It's really, really good for that. So that's become not my favourite for cream blush, but probably my second favourite. So I'm really enjoying it and I'm using it quite a lot. So lastly, looking at the Rephr collection. So this came out from Rephr, the LC collection, which I believe is going to be their final finish. They've been upgrading this collection to perfect it, listening to customer feedback. So the only difference you'll see here with the BO4 brush is that the colours on the back are different. So you'll see more of a sort of silver shade here with a new one, whereas the old one was all black. But as far as I know, the actual brush and the design is identical. So if you already have the BO4, you don't need this one. But if, like me, you love the BO4 and you want a backup, then you might want to get the LC03. I did get the full set of this. I didn't get this one in PR. I did get the other ones, but this one, the minute it launched, I just thought I've got to buy it. So I just ordered it straight away. So I've got a backup basically to the to the BO4. So I'm using this one regularly and I absolutely love it. And the other one that launched in this collection, which is a new one, is the LC02. Now this one is very similar to the 109. Now if you know the BK Beauty 109 brush, I mention it on my channel all the time as one of the absolute best brushes in my whole collection. But look how similar they are in shape. Very, very similar. They do exactly the same job basically. So when I said the 116 from BK Beauty isn't my favourite for cream blush, it's because I like to use these. I like to use them for contour and I like to use them for blush. I just love the shape and the way it sits on my upper cheekbone. They are my perfect brushes. And I think this is exactly the same as the 109. So it's not better, it's just as good as. So if you've already got the 109, again, you don't need it. But if you're looking for a backup to the 109, it could be a really good option. And then the other brush that launched in this collection, which I've managed to tip powder all over, I've already showed you this one when I was talking about the concealer brush from BK Beauty. So this is the LC01, and I did already have this in the original from, okay, have I got it here? Yeah, it's the original one for Rephr was called BO5. And again, it's identical to BO5. I keep picking my hairs up with these. The only difference being there's a little bit more white in the back of the new one. That's the only difference. The actual shape and the design exactly the same. So again, you don't need to replace your BO5. Just get this one if you want the backup. But this is my favourite concealer brush, LC01. It's become my favourite brush this year, my most used, my most loved, and nothing has beaten it. So there we are. That was a bit of a long marathon getting through all that brush conversation, but hopefully that's given you an idea of certainly my opinions on the new brushes that have launched. and they've been fabulous. As you can see, all of them, as I'm putting them back here on my desk, are in my regular use brush holders here, so they are really, really good brushes. And now the very last thing for me to show you, I've got two perfumes to show you. The first one is quite a unique and different one. This one was actually sent to me in PR from a company that's quite new, I believe, and I've never heard of them before. This one is called Rephr, I think, if that's how you pronounce it. So here is the bottle. But what I love about this is these are perfumes that are designed to boost your mood. Now for me, perfumes, scents, fragrances play a massive, massive role in my mood. They really affect me. I don't know about you, but they certainly do with me. I have different scents burning in my living room. I have scented candles in my bath. I love having scented oils in my bath water. I like to wear different perfumes during the day, every single day of the year. And I always use a pillow spray at night with fragrances quite similar to this one to relax me. I like to use relaxing room sprays with aromatherapy oils. They really, really affect me. So when they said, would I like to test this, I absolutely jumped at the idea. So let me describe to you what this perfume is. It's called Sunray, and this is for joy and happiness. So it says Sunshine bottled with uplifting turmeric leaf and strengthening turmeric root. It's got lemon for positivity, bergamot for clarity, and ginger for self-confidence, layered on calming black pepper and aphrodisiac cardamom. It's got amber, sandalwood, and vetiver, which bring calm and sensual tranquility. So lift, shift, boom, it says on the bottom. And every single bottle also contains a Herkimer diamond crystal, which is supercharged by a quantum energist. So if you believe in crystals and the power of crystals, I'm on the fence on that one in all honesty, but there's a little crystal sitting inside here. If I shake it up, you might be able to see it sitting in here. Where are you there? Can you see that crystal there? But for me, the fragrance of this genuinely lifts my mood. It really, really does. And it's also got quite a lot of longevity. I love the fragrances in it. So it's not like a fragrance you think, oh, well, why would you wear it as a perfume? Why don't you have it as a room spray or something? It works as a perfume. It really is so uplifting. It really is. And it definitely affects my mood. I like to spray it on the back of my hand and just during the day. I really lifts my spirits. I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I'm really impressed with it. So this is a new company, just tried it. I don't have a discount code from them. I have actually asked them if they might like to give me one. So if they do, I will let you know. But I'm really enjoying this, and they do have a range of different perfumes you can try for different moods, different scents, but I highly recommend checking them out. So I've put the link below for you to see, but loving that one. And the other perfume, which I've mentioned before on this channel, which I absolutely adore, is this one from Kayali. So I love Kayali perfumes. I tend to collect them unless they've got the really strong woody oud type of scents. I don't enjoy oud. I love their sweet fruity fragrances. I buy all of them. I've got a huge collection of them and I love to layer them. I've had this one since it launched, which is not very long ago, and you can probably see I've used a quarter of it at least already. I love this, and this one lasts like you wouldn't believe, which Kayali perfumes don't usually, but I have sprayed this, and I said this in my review with it, but I sprayed this on my dressing gown, and a few days later when my husband hugged me, he told me how wonderful I was smelling, and it was this from days later. It was at least 3 days, and my dressing gown still had that strong smell from this perfume. So this locks in, it really does. And it's called, what's it called? Bougie Marshmallow, Yum Bougie Marshmallow. So the notes in this are, it says on the back, freesia, strawberry, pink marshmallow, creamy coconut, whipped vanilla, and pink musk. And it is just gorgeous. I did worry this might be slightly too sweet. Have I gone too far in getting this? But no, when you first spray it, it does smell a bit too sweet. Just give it a few minutes to calm down. So if you test it in a shop, don't be put off it from the initial spray. Let it calm down. If you love gourmand sweet fragrances, I highly recommend this one. It is absolutely stunning. So there we are. That is the end of my review. I've managed to get a small amount of products to become a massively long video. But I did show you lots of things outside of makeup this month and lots of things I've tried, and it's quite nice in December when you've not got so much makeup to buy. There's been less releases, so I'm trying less to actually start buying things that I've wanted to buy for myself. So this is the first month really where I'm showing you things that I've chosen more for me, so the skincare and the perfume and things, rather than me just doing it for the release for the channel. So obviously I have tried a few things which have been big winners, especially this Victoria Beckham beautiful emerald eyeshadow, but lots of the things I've showed you are just things I wanted to buy and try. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I've quite enjoyed showing you things that I enjoy in my life, that I repeat buy or I've just found for myself. So I would love to hear from you. Have you bought any of the things I mentioned in this review? And if you have, are you enjoying them, or are you thinking of getting them? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you have enjoyed it and you're not subscribed, please do subscribe and hit the like button. It's super helpful to my channel. And if you're already subscribed, you've reached the end of a super long video. Thank you so very much for being here. And I really do hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.